They convicted Diane Kowalski of poisoning her husband in 1994. Then a courthouse clerk found the prosecutor's own notebook, sealed in a banker's box for 25 years, and page 14 names a second suspect the jury never once heard about. So why did the man who put her away spend the week before trial chasing an alibi he never disclosed? The official story was simple. Arthur Kowalski died in March of 1993, ethylene glycol in his system, sweet and odorless, the kind of poison that mimics flu until the kidneys fail. Diane inherited the auto shop, the house, and a life insurance policy worth $200,000. Prosecutors said she'd mixed it into his morning coffee. The jury deliberated 90 minutes, life without parole. For 26 years, that was the entire record, until Erie County began digitizing its archive room in 2019, and a clerk pulled a box marked Priest, Misc, Do Not Discard. Inside was Assistant District Attorney Walter Priest's personal trial notebook, handwritten, dated across the 6 weeks before Diane's trial. Page 14 reads, RD alibi doesn't hold. Check gas receipts. RD was Ray Delgado, Arthur's business partner at the shop. Priest had been quietly investigating him. Stapled behind that page, 2 gas station receipts, time-stamped, showing Delgado purchasing antifreeze twice in the 8 days before Arthur died. None of it appeared in the trial record. None of it reached the defense. A notebook is not evidence until someone decides it is. Priest decided it wasn't, or someone decided for him. Here's the contradiction the verdict can't survive. At trial, the state's toxicologist testified the poison was delivered in a single dose that morning in coffee. But Priest's notebook has his own handwritten toxicology figures, copied from the same lab report, and they show something else, a concentration pattern consistent with poisoning administered over several days. Single dose points to whoever was home that morning. Sustained dosing points to whoever had daily access to Arthur over that week. Diane was in Pittsburgh visiting her sister for 4 of those 7 days. Delgado worked the shop floor with Arthur every single one of them. So why did this never surface? Because Priest's notebook was never part of the official case file. Prosecutor's personal work product isn't automatically discoverable. It's the notes a lawyer keeps for himself, protected unless a court orders otherwise, and no one ever asked. When Priest died in 2003, his private files went into storage, unopened, uncatalogued, sitting 2 floors below the courtroom where Diane was convicted. Nobody subpoenaed a dead man's notebook. It simply waited in room 214 until a digitization project found it by accident. But the notebook wasn't the strangest part. Remember the coffee mug, states Exhibit 12, logged as untouched on the counter the morning Arthur collapsed. At trial, it was presented as proof Diane hadn't shared the poison pot. Priest's notebook shows he'd flagged that same mug himself, writing, "If she poisoned the coffee, why is the mug never tested for her prints, only his?" He doubted his own theory in ink, 3 weeks before he argued it to a jury with total conviction. And here's the pattern interrupt. This isn't a story about a prosecutor burying evidence out of malice. Later pages suggest Priest tried to bring Delgado's name forward and was overruled. His supervisor that year was District Attorney Thomas Van Ark, who was 6 months from a judicial election and whose campaign had accepted contributions from Delgado's family. A closed case, cleanly won, doesn't threaten a campaign. An open question does. Diane's attorneys filed for post-conviction relief in 2021, citing a Brady violation, the constitutional rule that the state must turn over evidence favorable to the defense. The petition is still moving through appeals. Ray Delgado died in 2015 of natural causes, never questioned again after 1993. Whatever he knew is buried with him. Priest never spoke publicly about the case before his own death. The notebook is the only voice left, and it only asks questions, never answers them. So a woman is still serving a sentence built on a theory her own prosecutor doubted in writing. The man who might have known the truth is gone. The one document that could unravel it all sat in a box no law required anyone to open. If a clerk hadn't moved that shelf in 2019, would anyone ever have looked?